here on the coast, shall we say? And of course today the big talk around is the election campaign. Have you any idea who won the elections?
No, Peter. I went to sleep at 8 o'clock.
it was. I saw
it was amazing.
I was away in the country on the weekend, and I saw the local editions of the Herald and the Telegraph. And they're printed well in advance of the city ones we get here.
Yes.
And they had this kind of story that you could obviously read was prepared some hours before the election even was, shall we say,
those early editions, they're all the same. Yes.
It sort of didn't make anything kind of specific, but it said Barry O'Farrell is expected. The final count will show Barry O'Farrell will win. Rather than like a landslide, you know.
Well, I'll tell you what.
A landslide.
What a landslide. What a landslide. It was just
But we're not here really to sort of praise and pat people on the back, I think, here at Objective Community Radio. We're all about trying to convince people now to see the future.
Oh, and that's the whole point.
Yeah.
That's the whole point. Now, you know, for years and years and years, I've always said, and I still think this is the long-term case, the Central Coast is a Labor voting area. I think we've just got to accept that. But on this occasion, the Labor voters certainly turned away. And, you know, the swing in Terrigal, Gosford and the entrance was in the order of 15-16%. I think Holstein got a 17% swing, which is pretty good.
Yeah.
Up in Wyong, David Harris, the local Labor member up there, the swing against him was only 10%.
But you've been a big supporter of David Harris and the work he's done for
He'll go down. He will be able to go out. He's only been there for one term.
Sure.
Knowing that he left a legacy. Now, there are a lot of other local members, and if you look at who the current local members are, they've left nothing. They've left nothing behind.
Yeah.
Whereas Harris has. Harris was really the member for the Central Coast, as well as being the member for Wyong.
Yeah.
And he did a fantastic job.
Was he the minister for the coast as well?
Well, no, he was parliamentary secretary for the Central Coast.
Right.
And he really was de facto minister because John Robertson, in my opinion, was one scrap interested, you know. And so he used his position to do a hell of a lot, roads in particular, you know.
Well, the promises that the candidates were putting forward for the Central Coast, now we're going to hold them accountable to make those things happen. And but I guess, you know, every electorate in Australia has been promised, well, I should say in the state, has been promised money to improve roads or improve transport and things like that. But as all the news reports are saying today, it'll be Barry O'Farrell's. He'll be bowled over this morning with various requests for positions in the ministry, and all the dollars that have been put on the table for various electoral purposes. When I say improvements in the electorate. So it'll be a big day for Barry, I guess.
It's going to be. But let me say this, Pete. There's a few things that they can certainly go on with, and that is the sinking of the Adelaide. It's now the ball is now in their court. Harcher came out and was a convoluted statement, but if you look at it really closely, the answer is yes. The lady who was the candidate in the Terrigal electorate, her key point was on her side of the no ship group. She got
100 votes.
1,000 votes across the whole electorate.
Out of 50,000.
Yeah, that's exactly right. Right. So if the Liberal Party ought to understand that the people of that electorate on the Central Coast want the Adelaide sunk. Yep. They've got to go ahead with the Brisbane Water Drive intersection, the Warrnambool Town Centre, and the Gosford Waterfront development.
Exactly.
Now, they're the four things that I think we should really hold them to account on.
Right, make it happen, make it happen fast.
Now, there's 5 members, 5 Liberals. There's Holstein in the southern end, there's, in representing Gosford, there's Harcher at Terrigal, there's Chris Spence in the entrance, Darren Webber at Wyong, and a guy called Edwards up in Swansea. Now, Swansea would be gold-plated Labor.
Yes,
gold-plated Labor. Can you believe that?
Well, Milton didn't help when he had to resign.
No,
scandal.
Well, they've still got that in their head.
Exactly.
You know, so the upshot of it is, if provided these 5 members can go to Macquarie Street and sit alongside of one another and not fight.
Are they all friends, do you think?
Oh, I don't know.
Bit of faction in there, you think?
I know there's some egos there, at least
Right.
one. The point is that when you start and look at it, here's an opportunity. This is a great opportunity for the Central Coast.
Golden.
These guys, they can sit down there and they can say to O'Farrell, we are speaking as one voice.
Sure.
This is what we want for our region.
Yes.
And
Now, I'm intrigued about something, that on Saturday, the very last of the big election rallies, shall we say, by Barry O'Farrell was on the Central Coast turf itself.
At Carry-On.
At Carry-On.
Yeah.
They were cooking lamingtons or something like that on the mighty bus that had to be, put to a side because of the freeway being delayed. But what do you think? How did you read into that? The importance of this particular area in the election?
Well, I think that Gosford and Wyong to O'Farrell was seen as key seats.
Right. Okay.
Key seats. Now, if they consider them to be key seats, they've got to go ahead and do something.
Yes.
Having won them is now beside the point.
That is my point. Exactly right.
Yep.
The key seats, they were the litmus test, shall we say.
They were.
About whether we can take some Labor electorates and make them into Liberal.
Yep, that's right.
And it's been done quite convincingly.
That's right.
So now it's time to deliver on the promises.
That's right. And they don't have to build a great train track for us. All they've got to do is four things. Sink the Adelaide, get Watervale Town Centre going, and the Gosford Town Centre going, and the Brisbane Water Drive, and finish off the roads that have started.
Yes.
So that's it.
That's it.
Because there's been a lot of road
We'll be
works
happy
done.
then.
Yeah.
We'll be happy.
And there are other issues, but I think they're the main ones.
Well, that could augur well. The other thing too, which was also, we often talk about the economy of the Hunter Valley because it impacts very strongly on the Central Coast, is how there's been what they call a gentrification. Thank you very much. Nice word there. In Newcastle over the past couple of years with the entire change in the demographic of the city because of the fact that it was a steel town now longer. And Jodie Mackay being flicked out of the Newcastle position.
Has she gone yet?
Oh, I think Jodie wasn't very happy about her position.
Oh, I didn't hear her on TV.
Well,
it was
not looking good for Jodie.
No, it isn't looking good. And frankly, had John Tate not been there, maybe she'd have been already gone. I don't know. I think a lot of people who didn't want to vote Liberal but couldn't vote Labor voted for Tate. So in the end, that's all that's got it to the point where it's doubtful.
Yes, that's more the point, I suppose. It's doubtful.
Yeah. But nevertheless, I think. But she was to my way of thinking, except for the big development in the centre of Newcastle there, she was a good local member.
And deservedly so.
Yeah.
She was a media person.
Yeah, she understands.
People out of media are nice people.
Yeah. And they've got a good cross-section view of the community.
Yes, exactly.
They have to. Yeah.
And
so anyway,
the phone's ringing now. I wonder if that's people trying to correct our position there, but we'll find out.
We'll find out.
Meredith, while you're off the air, you might grab that for us and just see if that's a comment. Nevertheless, well, Edgar, thank you for that. We've been following very closely the election over the last couple of weeks in our Monday spot. It's all over, bar the, shall we say, what do they say when they get taking the oath?
Yeah, taking the oath, that's one thing.
Into Parliament.
And of course, bear in mind, it'll be Chris Harcher, according to O'Farrell's statement that the shadows will become ministers. Harcher will therefore become Minister for Local Government. I don't think that there will be ministries for the regions. See, bear in mind, there was only a minister for the Central Coast, Illawarra, Hunter, and South West Sydney. Right. And I think that they'll have a different concept of how they were only sops to the electorate. They didn't do anything. So I think that they will go. See if I'm not right, and there'll be a different way of doing it. Okay. Because I've heard O'Farrell on one occasion say, "Oh no, I think that the Minister for Transport should be just as equally a Minister for the Central Coast on the basis of of their particular portfolios." So I don't think we'll have, but I don't have a problem with that. I don't have a problem with that. Yeah. So there we go. Well, good. Interesting days ahead. 4 men now in government, 4 of our local. And no ladies. We've all got the boys are in Parliament actually,
now. No ladies have got the tick. No. And it seemed to me that there was going to be a big turnaround of gender in the Liberal Party elected people, but there weren't a lot of ladies ran as candidates. No, that's exactly right. And that was never sort of made a point of. That's right. In the run up.